We've already had a story time about my coming out story, so I thought I guess expand on that story a little bit and call this my coming out story part 2 and talk about in more detail some things that also brought me to the, I guess, conclusion that I was gay. When I came out, I was 22 years old, and there were several things that led up to this. One is a very strange story. At that time, you know, I guess there weren't very many resources. I mean, there was the internet and all that, but, you know, then we also had dial-up, but there was the internet, but I didn't check on the internet. I actually had a phone in my room. My brothers and sisters and I each had our own phone in our room. So I knew, I live in Houston, Texas, and in Houston there's an area known as Montrose and all that, and that's like kind of like the gay area, the arty cultural area, gay clubs, things of that nature. And I knew that growing up, so I knew that all going to high school and growing up. So I don't know what possessed me to do this, but one night, you know, back in the day we had phone books. I knew the streets, Montrose, Hyde Park, all those were like streets in the area. And I don't know what possessed me. I just let my fingers do the walk-in, as they say, through the yellow pages, and it landed on Hyde Park. And like any street that I would see with Hyde Park. So I called the number. And the first number I called was like this penthouse with all these guys partying. I could hear them in the background, and they all got on the phone with me, and I was scared and saying, oh my gosh, I think I might be gay, and I don't know what to do. I don't know how to come out, and all these things, and they were like, yeah, come over. But I felt and knew that, they just wanted one thing, and I wasn't down for that kind of stuff, especially then, because I was a newbie. And so I hung up the phone, whatever. Then I tried one last time, and it ended up landing on this number of a guy who ended up being a teacher, actually, a professor at the University of Houston. But I'm not going to say who he was. But anyways, we started talking, and he told me anytime I needed to talk, I could call him anytime, day or night. And I was like, well, and he taught me about gaydar, and I'm like, because I was like, how am I supposed to ever even know if someone's gay or not? He said, you will develop this. I felt like Luke Skywalker or something being taught by Obi-Wan Kenobi. And eventually, as time passed, later when I came out, I did some choreography for clubs and stuff, and became a dancer also for gay and straight clubs. So I eventually did get to meet the professor in person. He was really nice, and it was really wonderful that he was part of my coming out story. Another way that I also knew that I was gay, before I actually met the professor, there was this girl that was in love with me, but I told her there could be a chance that I could be gay. So at this moment, I had that bridge of being bi, or I'm not sure. It was very ambivalent, and I had met her in the clubs and stuff, her and her best friend. So we went to the gay clubs. And this is the thing, why would you give, if you're in love with someone, why would you give a hungry lion meat to eat? It's just crazy. So we were in the gay club, and we had been going for about a month, and everyone was looking to see, I guess, to figure out what was going on with me. So one night, this girl, I'm not gonna say her name, but she brought this stripper down to the floor. And so she started kissing me. I felt nothing. He started kissing me. It was my first kiss from a guy, and The crowd just went crazy, cheering and screaming, but I felt absolutely nothing. So I was like, what is wrong with me? I don't feel anything from a girl, I don't feel anything from a guy. Am I asexual? What is wrong with me? Anyways, that night, there was another guy, I'm not gonna say his name either, that I was introduced to. And so I said hello, but I just kept dancing and stuff like that, and all that good stuff. Well, later that night, or during the week, I was working on my cartoons, drawing comic books and stuff like that. And there was a phone call, and that was back in the 90s. We always did three-way phone calls and stuff like that. So she was on the phone saying, hey, guess what? That guy from from the weekend or whatever, he's on the phone too. And we all started talking and stuff like that. But I was bothered at that time because I was trying to do my artwork and listen to my music, and I was like, okay, I don't know this guy. So anyways, she left us on the phone together and we talked. He asked if he could call me again. I said, sure, why not? Late that night, he called around like 2 or 3 in the morning, and we talked again. As we kept talking during the week, I started feeling like, those feelings, I guess, butterflies or something, like, oh, I'm talking to this guy. It was still a secret. So Christmas Eve, the girl said I could come to her apartment. She was gonna go out with her best friend, and she was gonna leave me and that guy in her apartment alone together. So exactly at midnight, from Christmas Eve to Christmas, it turned Christmas, and his beeper went off. We had beepers then. And he was standing by the balcony, and he turns around all dramatically, and he walks towards me. And as he's getting closer and closer, I can feel like my heart bursting out of my chest. And then I remember I was sitting on a bar stool, and he stood between my legs, and I felt like I was burning up on fire. And then we kissed, our first kiss. It was then that I knew I was gay. Sort of like, I guess, when straight people have their first kiss, like in elementary school, or even pretty much in middle school, when your hormones are raging, and you have that first kiss and you feel that tingle through your body and that electricity and that heat. That's what I felt. I knew then that I was gay. And that girl and I stopped being friends. She got really angry. Her best friend was like, he told you that there's a chance, but she wasn't having it. So that was the end of that, and the rest is history. I finally decided to come out to my family, and I even, with my friends that at the time in the neighborhood, I called everybody over to the driveway and made my announcement and said that if anybody doesn't feel comfortable or want to be around me because of this, you can leave or whatever, and everyone stayed. So I was really lucky. I was very accepted, and but yeah, that's my part 2 of my coming out story. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you like these story time videos, or also I make paper puppet cartoons, high drama, and then the crossover episode Stranger Danger. I have something else coming up also. It's a secret for now. But if you like those cartoons, please like, comment definitely, and subscribe so you'll know whenever I upload new videos.